right. Good morning. This is Dirk Knudsen for the Beautiful Planet blog that we're writing and our podcast. And so good morning. And this morning with me, I want to introduce one of the leading authorities of prebiotic and probiotic, we think, in the world, Dr. Goron Dordic, the founder of Slovenian-based Eko Gea. The primary product this company works with is derived from Norwegian sea kelp, which people in the industry know as Ascophyllum nodosum. So, Dr. Dordic, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Dave. Nice to hear you again.
Yeah. So, Dr. Dordic, I'm going to explain to people, you figured out a way to process and harvest this plant, this wonderful kelp plant, and you've been working with it for years. And at the same time, you learned how to keep some things intact in the plant, which gave you some proprietary abilities and a product that nobody else has. Basically, to let our listeners know, you're able to do so by not stripping away some of the trace elements, the essential elements and properties of the kelp. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about the product, and just sort of so they understand what is BCX, what is biocomplex, and what are some of the properties of that product?
Okay, I will try to explain as much as I can.
Sure.
In the world market, we have a lot of products made of different kind of algae, marine algae. But
right.
All of these products, it's totally different than our product, which especially technology which we are using in production of our biocomplex. We try and we get the two major elements out of marine algae. It's called polyuronic acid, and we get also oligosaccharides.
So
our product, to do this is really special. We don't use like other any high pressure. We don't use any high temperature. We don't use any alcohol in the process of extraction. We're using a special enzymic process and made the stabilization of this product. And we tested our product, and they are made homework. Difference between other products and our products is, let's say, we have polyuronic acid. Polyuronic acid has a big ion capacity. It's in buffer capacity, and our products have negative ion charging, which is very important when we're talking about, let's say, chelatation, process of the chelatation. Which means we are buffering heavy metals, we are buffering all other chemical pollution in the soil, if you're talking about plants, in the body, if you're talking about animals, humans. And we have another one product, another element, it's called oligosaccharide, which is more or less a prebiotic, which means we made a feeding of microorganisms with simple carbons. Yeah. This is a major thing.
So we're talking about oligosaccharides and polyuronic acids. For those that maybe didn't clearly hear how he pronounced it, but that's what he's talking about. And these make the Eko Gea products really unique, no matter how they're used. So we're going to talk today a little bit about cannabis and hemp with those properties involved. But let's talk about prebiotics a little bit, because in our previous discussions and getting to know you and knowing the product, prebiotics are extremely important. And so in relationship to biocomplex, how does it work with prebiotics, and why do we want to be concerned about prebiotics with whether it's agriculture? But let's talk about agriculture specifically. Why is that important, Doc?
Yes. Look, first of all, we must understand the life. When we're talking about human cells or other micro cells, what is the problem? Why the cells don't grow, and how the cells can grow. And our intention is to buffer, let's say, pathogens elements and to grow predators. It means positive bacteria culture. And like I said, our product has first element which can helping to make environment a good environment condition in the space. It's polylenic acid. Polylenic acid homework is to buffer and to block all the elements, all the metals, which is blocking the process, microbiological process. Secondly, also the oligosaccharides. This is a prebiotic. This is a bacteria culture. This is food for bacteria culture. And third, we must know one thing, which is also very important. In which form we have elements, trace elements in our product. You know, all the trace elements, which is in minerals, vitamins, amino acids, they are in organic form. They are not in inert form. Organic form, it means they have negative ion charge. And our cells, as let's say, wall of our cells is a positive charge. And if we adding to our cells or to animal cells or to the other microbiology cells, positive, let's say, earth minerals, earth vitamins, if we add it in with a positive charge, they cannot absorb. It means we must add it negative. And our product has, not only they have simple sugar, it's simple carbon, all the elements is also negative charge. It means they are crossing to the wall of the cell and feeding bacteria culture and make them healthy and they postpone the growing. You know, this is big difference. You know.
So we're taking care of the cells, that everything about them to stay healthy, your products providing them not only buffering and protection, but it's also feeding them at the same time, in essence. And everything starts there at that cellular level, so we get a better plant or a better animal, or even you even have products that I'm trying right now. You have a human consumption product, great pill, and it does a lot of things for digestion and other things. So I'm learning about that as I go. So I've been looking at the American market here, North American market, and it seems like when I go to look at these stores and online stores where they're selling supplements, everybody wants to say they have the best product. And a lot of those products have Ascophyllum nodosum featured, so they'll talk about sea kelp. You're convinced that your product is unique in a crowded space of people selling the product, and nobody else has something that you've had. Because of the way they process the kelp, they're actually stripping away these essential things, the oligosaccharides and the polyuronic acid. So that's the company's distinct advantage at this point, as I understand it.
Yes. First of all, we must understand. Let's say, if you're talking about human body and other bodies, we are, let's say, different than animals. Right? We cannot break down, let's say, cellulosis. We cannot break down lignocellulose in our body. For the reason, in our body we don't have enzymes. You know, and when we're talking with our competitors' products, what they are producing, they are harvesting, drying, milling, and packed in the capsules and the seal in the market. And it's only a question how much we can use off of this. Our product, it's made that totally 100% will be dissolved in our body, you know, and they are arranged for our body, that our body can take these elements without any problem. There's no need to have, I don't know, for example, enzymes of cellulosis or enzymes of hemicellulose. This job we made before in our process and give to the body 100% of the elements which is in the Ascophyllum nodosum. Why Ascophyllum nodosum? Ascophyllum nodosum is one of the, first of all, the richest seafood or algae in the planet, and they are the oldest one, and they are living in the cleanest part of the world. You know, there are no pollution, no industry, no petrochemical industry, nothing. You know, and first of all the food which is going through the Atlantic to the North Sea, they bring all the rich elements which an important and trace element which ascophyllum absorb, and that through the process of photosynthesis, they store in own cells. And now this, everything, it's available for us also.
Good,
This is a future.
Your product is coming from, so people don't know, we don't have it here in the Pacific Ocean. In fact, we're not allowed to have that plant come to the Pacific Ocean because it just doesn't belong here. I understand it comes from the North Atlantic, so places like Scotland and Norway and Iceland and places like that. So your product's being derived from some of the very cleanest water, maybe the cleanest water left on Earth is where this product comes from. Is that correct?
Yes. Our products, first of all, our raw material for our final product is coming really from the cleanest part of the world. Secondly, we using only pharmaceutical grade. It means we don't using animal grades or other grades. We're using pharmaceutical grade, which is highest quality of the grade of the raw material. And our raw material must have all the organic certification, And
pharmaceutical grade, the very finest, as you harvest and you oversee the production, we're going for the top tier sea kelp, the Ascophyllum, the best of the best is coming to your product, it sounds like.
Exactly. We have a special agreement with other suppliers of raw material, and we made analysis of material before we start production. After production, we every time have control of the products, and we have certification of everything,
So no middlemen. Your company handles the custody, the production, the overseeing the process, and then selling it directly. And so for people that think, and there's nothing additive, I think it's important before we talk about cannabis here, which I want to do, it's very important for people to understand this is a 100% natural product. There's no additives in this product of any kind, and lab testing here in the United States has just proven that out, and you've continued to post your results. It seems like everybody wants to add things to the products they're selling, and you're actually 100% opposed to this product having any addition. You, other than perhaps in some other industries you're using it, agricultural, human consumption. If I take the pill, if I put it on my plants, it's 100% natural product, correct?
Yes, it's 100% natural.
Yeah, and that's a really distinctive factor. I think people need to understand that if they're listening to this or going to buy your products. So this is a good point. We're going to talk about cannabis and hemp because in the United States, a plant, cannabis, has been illegal for 70-some years because we have some laws that just are the way they are. But now that's opening up. Many states are becoming legal. This plant's being used for medicinal purposes, recreational purposes, and then its related plant or its brother plant, hemp, is now legal across the United States and being used. I think we're going to see it used for production of fuel, cloth, CBD medicines, all of that. So it's a big topic of a discussion here in the United States. So let's talk about cannabis and the product. If I'm going to be a grower, if I'm going to be a consumer or be involved in the industry, and that's some people who are reaching out to right now that our company is reaching out to sell your product, why would a grower of cannabis or hemp want to use Biocomplex, which is one of your flagship products that, for your company? Why would they want to use it? And just give us a quick thought on that.
Very simple. If you would like to have high quality product, which means that you have a big amount of CBD and smaller amount of THC, you can use our product. This is very simple, and that you get really high quality the cannabis. For the reason in Biocomplex, when you apply also the elements in the cannabis which you don't have, or not only cannabis, in every plant which you don't have normally, and you cannot build in the soil. Doesn't matter if you use a hydroponic or if you use on the soil growing, you cannot edit all necessary elements to the plants which they need. And everything what we're missing, we add into the biocomplex. All elements, all trace elements, all amino acids, everything what we are missing, we adding in, And result of this, we are building huge root system. Huge root system means, I'm talking about capillary roots. Huge root system means bigger absorption. Bigger absorption, it means you can absorb more fertilizer which you add in, You can, through the process of photosynthesis, you can make better transformation of this food. And on the end, it's quality. We made analysis in Sequoia laboratory long time ago, and the result was incredibly good,
Yeah, so we've seen a study that was done. I don't think you did it, but somebody took the product and ran a study on it, a side-by-side study with and without, and there were just the results and some of the pictures I've seen, particularly with cannabis in this case. They were pretty impressive. So bigger root systems, better plant health, larger plant size, and then we get into the flower. So people in this industry are particularly interested in the flower because that's where the harvest comes. We talk about the harvest of the flower. The female cannabis hemp plant usually is identified by that small teardrop flower. What would a grower see happening with the flower when using biocomplex?
Yes. First of all, if you see what kind of benefits, what you can get, you can get very nice beauty color, or you can get great color and leaf structure, You get the buds, it's very surgery, And that's what's important for the and bigger size. You get a much bigger size.
Bigger size flower.
Yes.
It appears that and I'm not an industry insider, but the main flower, they have the cola and the bract. These are the small leaves surrounding the female plant's reproductive cells. So through the process, the flower is going to be bigger. It's going to have more uptake of the medicinal quality. So basically from the root through the plant, we're just getting an overall better flower, better product. Do you think the concentration, the strength, and let's say the flavor and sort of the overall experience somebody's going to have with the cannabis product will be much enhanced or better through the use of your product?
Definitely, a plant will be much more healthy. If you compare, the color of the plant, it's we have a much more greeny plant, than other, which is going to be brown, and bigger production of the elements in the plant, the color and robustness, everything is big difference. We are not talking about small difference. We are talking of extremely big difference between the plants.
It appears from looking at these studies that the study was done using Biocomplex 900. You do have some other products, 900 -2 and such, but for those using it, would they be using the Biocomplex 900? We have they'll get a chart on how to use that. Is that the premier product to be using on cannabis?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So we're going to have a healthier plant, bigger roots, bigger flowers, better color, better concentration of the essential elements and all that. At the end of the day, growers are looking for a beautiful, bud with the most trichomes, the best color. They want the flavor, and they want all the experience that people want in cannabis. For those that use it for recreational purposes, I think this is an outstanding product. When you get into the medicinal side, people are using it for treatment of cancer, particularly treatment of pain. And I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with how you folks do it in Europe or whether the plant's legal there, but you, from what you know of cannabis and hemp, both, you see this as kind of a huge expanding industry and an area that Eko Gea can really help the human experience?
Yes, look, what we would like to do, we would like to promote the bigger root growth. Yeah, it's when the cannabis absorb and retain nutrients and water. We would like to provide healthy microbiology in the soil, which always for better composting, breaking down of nutrients, and more enzymatic activity. We would like to make healthier plants, which is resist pest infection. And this is what we would like to do, and we are doing this. According to this, we get difference in the plant, in the final product. It's stronger smelling flower. And this and I'm sure that is one of the strongest, let's say, smelling flower which you can get.
The study, and for those that'll watch this, we'll have this on podcast. I'll also add some photographs. I'm looking at the end of the study that was done by Sequoia Analytical here in the United States. I'm looking at a flower that was produced with Eko Gea 900, and I'm looking at one that was produced just with standard growing without Eko Gea. At 40 times magnification, the plants that were untreated, almost all of them had mold colonies. The treated plant with Eko Gea 900 had no mold. Why would a plant treated with your product not have mold versus one that does? What is happening with the plant that the mold is being reduced?
Sorry, I don't understand the question. What?
Oh, so here, if we get some mold or sort of mildew and that sort of thing is happening with the flower. So in other words, we can't sell that because it's got mold on it. So your flower, the flower of the cannabis treated with Eko Gea is so healthy. Why would it not have the same issues going on? What's happening with the flower where it's not molding and it's not sick versus the one that wasn't treated? So particularly as the product works through the plant, as BioComplex works with the cannabis plant or any plant, but particularly cannabis, why is that flower so much healthier? What's happening with that flower versus the non-treated?
For the reason, like I said before, we are preparing the condition, we are preparing the environmental condition for the plant. Like I saw, we are building quite a good microorganisms which can produce the food for the right food for the plant. We are also buffering the different poisons which you have. It doesn't matter. Maybe in water, maybe in the fertilizer which you're adding in. We are buffering this, and we give to the plant to healthy food. And other things, we are also playing with DNA of the plant. Plant has somewhere in memory, they must grow, first of all, huge roots. But through our action, through the environmental reaction and all this stuff, plant realistically forget this, and mostly we have very small and lazy root, Now when we apply, this is why we're using the BioComplex in the beginning, when the plant growing. When we apply, we inform the DNA of the plant to the one of oligosaccharides. They must grow first of all the roots. And our strict instruction is to grow a strong roots. When you grow strong roots, when you made a good environmental condition of the breaking down of the food, in the process of the photosynthesis, in the leaves, you get very high quality of nutrients which you're feeding complete the plant, We're preparing environment which other cannot do this, They don't have these elements in, which is important.
So when I think about buffering, and I'm a layman, but when I think about the word buffering, I'm thinking about protection. In other words, that cell now it's due to the ionic charge or the properties of your product, but that's all those millions and millions of cells at that micro level. They now have almost a coat of armor, in other words, a protection around them. So the buffering is repelling and keeping out all of these pollutants, these heavy metals, the things that can hurt the plant. Is that a correct way to think about the buffering process?
Exactly. We also, for intermezzo, we made also, let's say, soil remediation with the plant, which is a soil contaminated with heavy metal. For example, like golden mined dams, which is a field with different kind of very heavy metals,
Right.
And when we are growing the plants, we clean the soil another way. You don't pound in the plant the heavy metal. Also, we are playing a game. It's called ion exchange, and we are putting metal to highest level, which is available for the plant. They can use. For reason, you must know the plants also need, like everybody. We also need some trace elements, which is like heavy metals, like chromium, vanadium, for example. The plants also need. But they are not available, Also, if you see, for example, phosphor, a lot of plants need the phosphor, but the problem is that phosphor is a locket. And biocomplex has a function. Phosphorus, yes.
Okay.
It's a locket.
Yeah.
It's a locket. Sometimes, if you buy cheap phosphorus from China, they are locket with cadmium, for example. And plants cannot take. You have a lot of phosphorus in the soil, but not available. And biocomplex has a function to unlock the phosphorus and made available for the plant. And also all other trace elements which is necessary for the normal and healthy growing the plant. And plant, when they are growing health, they can protect all cells against the illness. And this is the hallmark of biocomplex.
That makes total sense to me now that you've explained it. The sort of the standard thing we see maybe worldwide, but in the U.S., we see the NPK ratings, so the phosphorus, the potassium, and the nitrogen. It's very important to plants. We'll see a lot of fertilizers there. They've really just pushed the advertising that they're really pouring huge percentages or mixtures of those things in their products onto the plant. What you're saying is they don't necessarily absorb these things. They need them, but we maybe sell something that just is not really helping the plant because the plant can't absorb it properly. So let's jump off of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not only this, you must know, if you adding too much the fertilizer, NPK, for example, in the soil, and the plant don't have a possibility to absorb this. Major of this NPKs and everything going in drain water, and we get nitrates and other poisons in the water, which we after this are drinking, and we kill ourselves. This is one point. Secondly, if you on the open soil using biocomplex about 3 years, we stop totally erosion there. We are building humus. We are building clay humus,
Humus, yes. So if let's say I'm growing cannabis or hemp here, and we'll talk in future discussions about other things like, tomatoes and vegetable crops, et cetera. But for today's discussion, should somebody add other, so biocomplex is a great way to just take what's in the soil, what's available to the plant, and enhance the plant. The plant has better health, better flower, better cell health, uptake of water, larger roots. Do I need to add other fertilizers to have a good crop? Should I, or can I add other fertilizers with your product? Does it work well with other fertilizers? Okay.
Yes, you can. You can mix it. This is very interesting. Our product is made with 100% of organic,
Right.
If you have 100% of organic, you can't use much chemical fertilizers, You must edit some compost or something like this, And biocomplex can help to build a microbiology in the soil that can break down this compost and they can prepare the food for the plant. If you are using the conventional growing, you can mix it biocomplex with every fertilizer, with every protection material, with herbicides, pesticides, fungicides you can use. And you can protect plants and using biocomplex if you're using it in combination, Only
Okay.
biocomplex you cannot use with magnesium together.
Okay. Don't need magnesium?
No, don't need. You can use the magnesium, but not together with biocomplex.
Right.
When you're preparing
The one thing that So using fertilizers, if a grower is comfortable with an organic fertilizer they're using, continue to use it, then use biocomplex to make your plant stronger, buffer the cells, do the things you've talked about. The one thing that really, I'm not going to say it shocked me, but as I began to look at the lab results for basically heavy metals and just the composition of the Ascophyllum nodosum product, that plant possesses so many natural nutrients as just a natural extension of what it's composed of. I was really impressed with not only your product, of course, because it is all natural, but just looking at the lab results. I mean, the Ascophyllum nodosum is, I could call it a miracle plant. I think it has, you certainly understand all of the potential, but it seems like the world's just starting to understand algae as a whole, and I know there's thousands of types of algae. This one's particularly special. When I look at the lab results, I'm seeing many elements and properties and things that we need as living organisms are in that plant. How did you come to find this plant? And I'll just end today's interview by asking you a little bit about how you came to work with Ascophyllum nodosum. I know it is at the root of everything you're doing, and you're working on everything from biomass reduction to, you're doing an awful lot of work, which people will hear about in future interviews. But what as a microbiologist, what got you in the direction of this wonderful plant? How did you get started with that and sort of have your love affair with this plant?
All my life, I try to help the human, to human and to the plant. I don't know. Maybe God put me on the earth and give me something that I must do, And I try to do my best, And I made a research of different plants, of different compositions, which can work together, made a closed loop that can help to each other, But the problem is every time was how to prepare these elements in the plant, that can help. Let's say one plant can help to other plants, And through my research and playing the game with Ascophyllum nodosum, I found this is the plant which is the richest on the earth with all the necessary minerals, vitamins, trace elements, amino acids, which is necessary to feed to other plants. Not only plants, also the animals, also the humans, But the problem is that we know about this, but at the moment, nobody don't go so deep in this research and don't come to the level which is now biocomplex. Biocomplex is, let's say, prepared. This is a basic of the life, We have elements which is available, form of available,
Well, it's an amazing product, and you're building your understanding of the product and the what you're doing with it is very interesting. I'm watching the company go in many directions with this product, and we're excited to see how we can use biocomplex and all of the Eko Gea products here in North America, where it's just being introduced, and so we're excited for that, and as you said, to help human beings and help the planet, which God knows we need desperately right now. So I want to thank you for taking this call and coming on and talking to us about your product. And we want to follow up with you in future recordings, and we'll be talking about things like biomass reduction and things like that. So I'm gonna sign off of our podcast. Stay on the phone for a minute, Dr. Dordic, and I want to thank everybody for listening. You can find out more about this tremendous company and the work that they're doing at ekogea.com, www.ekogea.com, and in North America, www.ekogeana.com. That's EKOGEA. Eko Gea. And Dr. Dordic, thank you so much. Stay on the line, and we'll wrap this up.
Thank you very much for your interesting.
Thanks, Doc.